For this video, I am going to once again be talking about more than one song. This time, however, I'm not talking about them because they're in quick succession and are basically one song like the previous one. I'm talking about these two separately because this first one isn't very long, and what it contributes isn't going to take very long to say.
They got...
Now, while I'm sure this is a very cathartic conclusion to this particular gentleman's story, in this particular story that we are currently following, what he's saying isn't really that important. What this song does for this particular musical is that it allows the Scoobies to see that they're not the only ones being affected by this whole musical curse. And that's really all this song does, but that doesn't mean it's not important. Now the Scoobies know that it affects everybody, and so that they can keep moving forward with trying to figure out what's causing it. So now that that song's done, let's go ahead and dive right into the next one. After an afternoon of being cooped up inside the magic store trying to figure out what's causing this whole musical mayhem, Willow and Tara decide to leave under the pretense of getting some more text that can help them maybe possibly understand what's happening. There are in fact no texts, and they just kind of want to escape and go off and do their own thing. And with that, we get this song sung by Tara called Under Your Spell. This song is a love song with Tara talking about how she's able to be a stronger and more confident person because of Willow. What I appreciate about this song is that it allows us to hear about some of the events that we've already seen happening, but allow us to hear them from Tara's point of view. The first verse is all about how she's lived her life in shadow and never felt the sun on her face. And now whether or not she's literally never been outside, or whether it's just a metaphor, isn't really important. But what is important is that she feels that this whole idea of being kept in the dark was just her life. She didn't really see it as sad, because that's just kind of how her life was. And we see this happen in the episode Family. Tara's family comes to Sunnydale, and we find out that they're terrible. And Tara was very much being oppressed by them, but because she met Willow and subsequently the Scoobies, she was able to break free from her family, and she was able to, as she puts it, be bathed in light. So that's something that we did see happen, but it's also nice to hear it from Tara's point of view. The second verse is all about how she saw this world enchanted, but she was the only one. She had this magic inside of her and was basically resigned to the fact that she was the only one who had this magic. But then she saw Willow, and Willow had her own magic that was extremely powerful, and she was able to not be the only one. And again, we see that in the episode Hush, which was Tara's first episode. And also again, it's just nice to hear about it from Tara's point of view. So we hear about all of these things in Tara's life, her family, and her thinking she's the only one that has magic, that made her feel very alone. But upon meeting Willow, she doesn't feel that way anymore, and so she's able to become more confident and more strong. And that's a wonderful message for this entire song, but unfortunately, this song does have a bit of a melancholy undertone. And this has nothing to do with Tara or what she's doing, but everything to do with knowledge that we, the audience, knows that Tara doesn't. In the previous episode, Willow and Tara have a fight over Willow's constant use of magic. Instead of dealing with it like an adult, Willow decides to instead cast a forgetful spell on Tara so she doesn't remember the fight. So although the song is about Tara singing about how she's metaphorically under Willow's spell due to the whole having more confidence because of Willow thing, she's also literally under Willow's spell. And we in the audience know that, so that's kind of in the back of our heads as we're watching this song. That being said, that is it for this week's song, so tune in next week for next week's song. See you then!